What's jablin', Jables? What's thumpin', hypers? All right, here's the deal. You just watched Birds of Prey and the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn, and you're thinking, my favorite character in that is probably Black Canary. Jurnee Smollet-Bell just crushed it. She's awesome. She was a singer. Man, that's so cool. I'd really like to read a comic book about that, but where the heck do I start? I got you covered, baby, on today's episode of Hex Rex. Wow! All right, welcome back to another very special episode of Hex Rec. We're wearing the exact same thing because we knocked these babies out 2 in one night.
And that's why it's a very special
I
episode.
just noticed, actually, I'm wearing the same Murder Falcon shirt in like 3 videos, and I think people assume that I'm like a garbage rat.
Yeah.
No, you're
live
just
here.
a mega fan.
You just have 8 shirts that are
Yeah,
all
all
the
the
same.
same. Don't
Guys,
judge
I've
me.
had this shirt since like 2006.
Everyone's like, you wear a lot of flannel. I like it. It's comfortable.
Yeah.
Kiss
It
my
is.
butt.
It is comfy. It is comfy. You know what else is comfortable?
Hanging out with you guys,
Putting on a nice fireplace,
talking comic books,
getting some hot cocoa,
cuddling each other.
and pulling up a nice comic book to read. Hey, guys, this is the comic I'm talking about for today's Hex Rec. The link is down below. It's from In Stock Trades. Normally, you get 35% off, maybe even 40% off. Any orders over $50, you get free shipping. And here's the name of the game today. We've talked about this before. We did a Harley Quinn Hex Rec. We did a Birds of Prey team Hex Rec. I want to go more specific. This movie is awesome. I really enjoyed it. It's very remixed. It's tough to find a one-to-one. We've talked about this. So what element of the movie am I trying to hone in on whilst also finding a very accessible comic book? The name of the game is accessibility because here's the standout character we're talking. Black Canary, Jurnee Smollet-Bell. I mean, awesome character.
Look, it's because of her that they even know we make trailer reactions.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Absolutely. She's great. She's great. A big fan. And she was badass in the movie.
So good.
And her
My
character,
favorite character, actually.
Yeah.
in
her
the movie.
character,
Yeah.
it was this great sort of like, I don't even want to say tease because we got some good little meaty stuff,
Yeah.
but I certainly want more.
Oh,
Oh,
hell
yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and,
Kidding me?
and an element that I loved about the movie is the way that they incorporated her into this larger story, which is she starts as a singer in Black Mask's nightclub, as a singer, kind of like maybe in a deal that's not great.
Right.
She's talking about how he took me off the streets and he gave me this job, but it feels not. And then she becomes his driver, and then yada yada yada. Right. But I love that element that she's a singer. And I feel like that, coupled with some of her even fashion, decisions, were inspired by more recent Black Canary. This is a character that goes back all the way old school, golden age of comics. And in the Silver Age, she was sort of retroactively made one of the founding members of the Justice League. And then even later, they retroactively were like, okay, this version of Black Canary, this woman was a Justice League founder, but her mother was in the Justice Society during World War II. So then becomes a mother-daughter generational story,
so awesome.
which we got a piece of in the movie.
Yes.
So those
DC's all
kinds
about
of,
legacy, so it makes sense.
and I'm so happy that it's like, yeah, get us to that legacy. Right, Rosie Perez's Renee Montoya, like maybe knew her mom. Like that's dope. So some of those elements I want to pick and pluck and pull and talk about Black Canary Volume 1, Kicking and Screaming. This is by writer Brendan Fletcher and a couple of different artists, but I believe that the main artist is, one sec, let me pull this up. I want to say that it's Annie Wu. Let me see here. Let me pull this up. Let me get them credits. Hang on, bear with me.
Is
folks.
she not on the cover?
What is this? These are not right. See, I'm getting tripped up because already the first thing. Here we go.
There
Annie
it
Wu's
is.
the artist for sort of like a good main chunk of it. But then you get some great colorists and lettering collaborators.
It's got a
and
very
everything.
graphic style.
So here's the thing. Here's why I got tripped up. I even tried to pull up a credits page from a comic, and it's this fake newspaper clipping because this book
Yeah.
is
Gotcha.
so stylized.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real. There's elements of it that are like Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
It looks very much
In the
like
comic
that. Yeah.
itself,
Yeah.
give it a little flip through. There's a segment where Black Canary is shown kicking ass, and the way that the layout is broken up, you flipped right to it. It's like musical. It's like a music sheet.
Like a music video.
How badass
Yeah.
is that? It's a music sheet.
Oh, it's
bro.
a music sheet. Oh,
Yes,
that's incredible.
Where she's fighting these cool ink monsters
Yeah,
and
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
So already the style is very different than sort of a typical grounded mainstream DC comic book.
Now, before we do get back into the video, I do want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor this week, which is Skillshare. That's right, Skillshare is back with brand new opportunities for you guys to join their incredible community to discover and learn new things that you probably didn't even think you were capable of doing. Whether you've been wanting to become an editor, a visual effects artist, a master at Photoshop, or you've been finally wanting to cook the 5 vegetables you have in your fridge, Skillshare is an incredible resource for you. Skillshare is an online learning community for creatives where millions come together to take the next step in their creative journeys. Skillshare offers thousands of inspiring classes for creatives and curious people on topics including illustration, design, photography, like I mentioned, video, freelancing, and so much more. Guys, we're getting into tax season. Learn how to do that. And Skillshare is hooking up the first 500 of our subscribers who click the link down below with 2 months of premium Skillshare for free. That's right. Outside of that, you're more than welcome to join Skillshare and their amazing community for less than $10 a month. I'm loving the service. I'm loving everything about it. And I'm just learning so much more on top of all the things that I already know. So enhance your skill sets. Get down in the description. Click the link. And let's get back to the video.
Yeah. But it's still street level. It's still awesome.
Right,
it's
right,
about
right.
Black Canary. This is Brendan Fletcher, the writer,
That's so
is
cool.
coming off of a series called Gotham Academy,
Yeah.
which introduced some new characters that were going to a prep school in Gotham City. And it's a really fun kind of all-ages comic book. And the cool thing is one of those characters from that cast moves over and joins this band. So you can kind of follow this cool, this character like dropped out of school to go and be in this band. And it's kind of cool if you've been reading Gotham Academy and then you get to this. And in the back of, I believe, the second trade of this series, there's even a tie-in like with Gotham Academy and Black Canary, the band, and everything. So,
That's fun.
so I'm also going to tell you that you should read this entire series. It's collected across 2 trades. I want to say it's like 12 to 14 issues, something like that. I think it might be 12, maybe 13. But it's a great little self-contained series. You're going to want to read volumes 1 and 2, but the link below is for volume 1 to get you started, get you a little taste of the good
taste of
stuff.
glory.
Taste of
See
the
what it
glory.
tastes like.
See what it tastes like. So if I'm talking about Black Canary and you're going, look, man, Hector, she's not just a singer in a band. She's a superhero. She's a crime fighter. She's one of the best martial artists on the planet. She's got this great history. Her mom was a superhero. XYZ, all of this information. You're right. And this comic book is not just her being in a band. It starts like that, and this is when the character has kind of gone through some stuff, and she decides to start going by DD instead of Dinah Drake. She's going by DD. She's the lead singer of the band Black Canary, and there's really cool members in the band. There's some mysterious members in the band where you're like, what is this character's deal? There's like a little girl who plays the bass, and then she goes by Ditto because she's like mute. She doesn't speak. And you're like, that's
Gotcha.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
Same,
And
yeah.
you'll learn about what her deal is, but pretty soon after the typical, like, they played a concert. Black Canary got into a fight because she saw some dude harassing some woman, and then she stopped in the middle of her set, jumped and beat the shit out of this guy. Like, well, that's cool to just read like a cool comic about an awesome band.
It's pretty punk rock.
And side note, you should be reading this whilst listening to the Black Canary
Come on.
score and soundtrack. I mean, the Birds of Prey score and soundtrack.
Yeah.
The songs are
Come on.
perfect to remix in there.
At this point, Hector and I have
Daniel Pemberton, you
Yeah.
got it. You got it.
From
So,
these
Yes.
images,
Scott
also
Pilgrim.
the Scott Pilgrim soundtrack.
That's what
yeah.
I'm saying. That-
Right.
100%.
1, 2,
Yeah.
3, 4.
Oh, Sex Bomb would be awesome with this, especially
Yes.
during these
Yes, there's a battle of the bands, like legit. And it
legit
is-
battle.
and it
They're
is
hitting each
a
other
battle.
and they're singing
It
at
is
each
like
other.
the thing that,
vocally a
that like
battle.
is really striking about the comic book too, and a lot like the movie, it's very vibrant, colorful.
Yes.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
really embraces color palettes.
It's got a really dope
and
color
just
palette.
like you were saying, like this is kind of like a graphic designer's dream is
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
able to work on something that's like so colorful. So to whoever
Yeah.
the colorist was, it's like it's
Yeah.
it's beautifully done.
Yeah, we can find their name in the credits and give them a shout out. But I
Yeah.
totally agree. And the Birds of Prey movie has that. And Black Canary herself as a character, there's been different versions of that, but I feel like typically she's been a very Gotham City kind of a muted vigilante.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of a change. And like I was saying earlier, it's not just about them being in a band. You will soon learn in this comic that she has a mom, just like in regular Black Canary history, because this is that sort of New 52 version of the character up to this point, and that there is a legit like martial arts side to this. It's almost like Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow from G.I. Joe. Like there's,
'Cause I see a
right?
ninja
You
right
see
there.
that? And that ninja has some ties
the
to
throwing star.
Dinah, and I'm not going to tell you what that relationship is, but like there's a mystery involving her past, and you even meet Dinah's like husband or ex-husband. So there's a bunch of like cool stuff that is specific for Dinah. And for these 2 volumes, but with this first one that you'll start off on, it feels like she's going off and she's kind of figuring stuff out. And by the end of these 2 volumes, by the end of the series, I even like volume 2 even better than the first volume. And by the end of it, I was like, this thing is epic. And I loved it so much. And it also, at the end of that, kind of went off into Batgirl and the Birds of Prey. Like, and Barbara Gordon comes into the picture, and
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, okay,
Nice
cool.
segue.
Barbara's back, and her and Barbara have history, and we're kind of back in a more superhero-y world. But this stuff was dope, fresh. Like the color palette. I'm gonna give him a shout out because it was gorgeous, gorgeous stuff. The colorist on this book, and I want to go to that section that you were really enamored with. I guess all of this stuff, right? Let's find that.
Well,
colorist.
it's all that stuff, but I'm trying to figure out one of the members of the Gorillas, I think, is named. Oh no, it's Noodle. I thought it was Ditto. Never mind.
But again, Noodle,
it seems
you see
like
what
the
I'm saying?
Gorillas, though.
You
It
look
seems
at
like
this band,
yeah.
and it looks like the animated like Gorillas, like
it
the
looks
cartoon
it looks
Gorillas.
very.
It's
If
super
you
cool.
enjoy the Gorillas art style, you will
Yes.
enjoy this comic book.
In fact, you could probably even listen to the Gorillas
You
while reading
probably
this,
could,
and it'd
yeah.
probably be pretty dope.
Yeah.
Shout out to the colorist Lee Luffridge.
Okay.
Beautiful stuff. I mean, just a great team that's firing on all cylinders while
Yeah.
giving you, again, kind of a remixed version of your favorite character that I think is still very true to that character while also being super, super accessible. If you like Birds of Prey, if you like Black Canary in that movie, if you like Jurnee Smollet-Bell, and if you like stories that are similar to that, you could do no worse than Black Canary, Brendan Fletcher, Annie Wu, everybody involved did a great job. Lee Luffridge, Pia Guerra. It's fantastic. Go get that. The link is below. And that's it for Hex
Give
Rec.
it a clickety click.
Give it a little click. Jables, do that for us. So appreciate it. Share this video, like, comment. Also comment with your own favorite Black Canary comic book or story or
for sure.
storyline.
Yeah. Inform the community if you got something real cool.
I don't care even if it's not, again, because the name of our game is trying to be accessible, that you could just, I've never read any Black Canary, and then you're good to go. But if you want to give me that real nerdy, years-long, deep storyline stuff, go for it. Mention it in the comments. Let everybody know what your favorite Black Canary comic moment is and why, because she's a fantastic character that I'm hoping a movie like Birds of Prey can give her more of a spotlight. I'm hoping, it seems like the CW stuff, people like so many more people have become a fan of the whole canary thing, Black Canary, White Canary.
And now they have a spin-off series.
Exactly, Green Arrow and the Canaries.
Yep.
So maybe more like
Maybe more
DC
Hex
Comics,
Rex.
maybe more Hex Rex in the future, but maybe more DC Comics will kind of reflect that sort
Yeah.
of thing. But
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
meantime, it was dope that Black Canary got this series for this at this time, and then you can read her in other places. But there you go, y'all. That's it.